Welcome back to Redmond Deep Dive, the podcast that brings you the latest insights from the world of Microsoft and IT. I'm Chris Paoli.
And I'm David Rammel. It's July, and we're excited to dive into some recent articles from the prolific Brian Posey, a 22-time Microsoft MVP with decades of IT experience. He always gives us a unique perspective, drawing from his vast background, including his current training as a commercial scientist astronaut candidate.
That's right, David. And speaking of unique perspectives, Brian recently tackled the topic of Copilot vision and its similarities, or lack thereof, to the controversial Windows recall. Remember all the privacy concerns around recall last year? It essentially takes screenshots of your desktop every few seconds to build an AI understanding of your activity.
Absolutely. Recall raised a lot of eyebrows. Despite Microsoft's assurances about privacy and local data storage, the idea of advertisers or government agencies potentially getting access to that level of detail, from banking transactions to emails, was quite alarming. Fortunately, it's only on Copilot Plus PCs, so most users don't have to worry about it for now.
But then comes Copilot Vision, a new Edge browser feature. At first glance, it sounds very similar. The description even states Copilot sees what you see as you browse the web. Brian initially feared it was Recall Lite baked into the browser.
Thankfully, Brian found that Copilot Vision is far less invasive. It's an entirely opt-in experience, only analyzing content if you specifically ask it to. Crucially, all data shared with Copilot Vision is deleted once you end a session. Only Copilot's responses are logged to improve safety, not your browsing data for AI training from publishers. The one notable difference is that while Recall data is local, Copilot Vision does send browsing data to the cloud for analysis when invoked.
And if it's not for you, Brian mentions you can disable it by turning off the Copilot button in the Edge browser settings. So, good to know there are controls there.
Moving on to another one of Brian's insights, he recently shared a personal anecdote about using Hyper-V for working on the road. He compared his experience from 2012 to a more recent, unexpected situation. Back in 2012, he set up a high-end gaming laptop with Windows Server and Hyper-V VMs for an international speaking tour trying to replicate his home lab.
And he noted that while it got the job done, the user experience was terrible. Even powering up a single VM slowed everything down to a crawl, despite having top-tier hardware for the time and separate disks. Plus, managing multiple VMs on a single laptop screen, compared to his usual multi-monitor setup, was highly inefficient.
Fast forward 13 years to a recent funeral trip where his car broke down, extending his stay. This time, he was working from a Microsoft Surface Laptop 6, which isn't a high-end gaming machine. He didn't have his cloud authentication token, so setting up local VMs was his only option.
And the outcome was dramatically different. With 64 gigabytes of RAM and ample disk space, he was able to create Windows Server and Windows 11 VMs that worked great, even over slow hotel Wi-Fi for downloads. He concludes that Hyper-V has matured significantly, especially with its inclusion in Windows 11 Pro, making it a viable option for running VMs on a workstation, coupled with today's superior hardware. It's a testament to how far virtualization has come.
It really is. Now, for our final article from Brian, let's talk about something that's been causing a bit of a stir. Microsoft's latest backup prompts in Windows 11. Brian notes a lot of complaints online about a persistent yellow banner in settings, nagging users to back up their PCs.
Yes, and the main issues people have are that dismissing the banner doesn't make it go away permanently, and it's seen as a disguised advertisement pushing users to buy more OneDrive storage beyond the free 5 GB. Brian himself says he doesn't mind the banner too much, as long as there's a way to permanently disable it, especially for people recording video courseware where pop-ups can ruin a take.
But the real problem Brian encountered was far more serious. While experimenting with large language models on a headless PC, Windows 11 installed an update and then displayed a full-screen nag screen that blocked him from even accessing the logon prompt until he connected a keyboard, mouse, and monitor to clear it.
That's a huge issue, especially for systems performing server-like functions. A prompt that prevents access and disrupts critical workflows is a major design flaw. Brian acknowledges his setup wasn't a server OS, but you certainly don't expect the nag screen to lock you out of a system. It's a stark reminder of the potential unforeseen problems that seemingly helpful features can create.
Absolutely. It highlights the fine line between helpful reminders and disruptive interference. Thank you, Brian Posey, for these incredibly relevant and insightful articles this month.
Always a pleasure to read his work. That's all for this episode of Redmond Deep Dive.
You can find these articles and more by Brian Posey on redmondmag.com. Be sure to tune in next time for more deep dives into the world of IT.